The Fourth Elegy. O trees of life, oh, when are you wintering? We are not unified. We have no instincts like those of migratory birds, useless and late. We force ourselves suddenly into the wind and fall down into an indifferent lake. We realize flowering and fading together, and somewhere lions still roam, never knowing, as long as they have their splendor, of any weakness. We, though, while we are intent on one thing holy, feel the loss of some other. Enmity is our neighbor. Aren't lovers always arriving at boundaries, each of the other, who promised distance, hunting, and home? And when, for the sketch of a moment, a contrasting background is carefully prepared so that we can see it, then this is clear to us. We do not know the contours of feeling, only what forms it from outside. Who has not sat scared before his heart's curtain? It drew itself up. The scenery was of departure, easy to comprehend. The familiar garden swaying a little. Then the dancer appeared. Not him, enough. However lightly he moves, he is in costume and turns into a citizen and goes to the kitchen into his house. I don't want those half-completed masks, rather the doll. That is complete. I will suffer its shell, its wire, its face of mere appearance. Here, I am waiting. Even if the lights go out, even if someone says to me, no more, even if emptiness reaches me as a gray drought of air from the stage, even if none of my silent forefathers sits by me anymore, not one woman, not even the boy with the brown, squinting eyes, I shall be here. One can always watch. Am I not right? You, to whom life tasted so bitter, Father, tasting mine, that first clouded infusion of my necessities, you kept on tasting as I grew, and preoccupied by the aftertaste of such a strange future, searched my misted gaze. You, my Father, who since you were dead, have often been anxious within my innermost hopes, and giving up calm, the kingdoms of calm, the dead own, for my bit of fate. Am I not right? And you, woman, am I not right? Who would love me for all that small beginning of love for you that I always turned away from, because the space of your faces changed as I loved into cosmic space where you no longer existed. When I feel like waiting in front of the puppet theater, no, rather gazing at it so intensely that at last, to balance my gaze, an angel must come and take part, dragging the puppets on high, angel and all. Then there's a play at last. Then what we endlessly separate merely by being comes together. Then at last, from our seasons here, the orbit of all change emerges. Over and above us then the angel plays. See, the dying must realize that what we do here is nothing. How full of pretext it all is, nothing in itself. Oh, hours of childhood when behind the images there was more than the past, and in front of us was not the future. We were growing, it's true, and sometimes urged that we soon grew up, half for the sake of those others who had nothing but their grown-upness, and were yet our own happy with timelessness, and stood there in the space between world and plaything, at a point from the first beginnings had been marked out for pure event. Who shows a child just as they are? Who sets it in its constellation and gives the measure of distance into its hand? Who makes a child's death out of gray bread that hardens, or leaves it inside its round mouth like the core of a shining apple? Killers are easy to grasp, but this death, the whole of death before life, to hold it so softly and not live in anger cannot be expressed.